Welcome to Video Games Revisited. This request comes from a YouTuber called Code19Woot, and he's requested we review q-bert on the Atari 2600.
The Atari 2600 version of this game is actually a port of the popular arcade game. There were, however, numerous other ports on other consoles, and even adaptations and enhancements on later consoles like the PS1 and Dreamcast. The game itself is an isometric platformer and puzzle game, and the purpose is to move the foul-mouthed q-bert around on this pyramid, lighting up all of the boxes, while avoiding the enemies that can be found, as well as these bouncing spheres. Once all of these cubes have been lit up, you move on to the next stage so the game can progress. As the game goes on, different enemies with different abilities will be introduced, and different other gameplay mechanics will be introduced, like on later levels you have to change the colour of the cubes several times before the level is complete. Some of the later enemies I've mentioned will change the colour of the cubes back, and some will go directly for you, leaving you to flee for your life. Thankfully, been provided with the flashing platforms you can see to the left and right of the pyramid, and once you hop onto these they'll carry you to safety back at the top of the pyramid, but can only be used once. These developments are really effective to keep the game interesting, and also encourage you to get better both with your skill and your strategy. It's all very nicely balanced. The graphics are basic but incredibly functional. You can't really ask more from them, and the only animation is on the main character q-bert. Let's face it, he's the only one that really matters to us. Sound is very minimal, and in fact the only sound to speak of really, other than the victory music you get at the end of each stage, is the constant blip, blip, blip from both you and the enemies. But having these individual sounds for characters really does help to build tension, especially from the most threatening, the snake. And assuming this is intentional, it's rare to see such a thing taken into consideration on such an early game. Now, as far as controls go, this is my only real complaint with q-bert, as they effectively don't really work. As you can see, the cubes are laid out at an angle, like the diamond, but the standard directions on a joystick at the time were up, down, left and right. Now, logic would tell you all you'd need to do to jump off a specific side of the diamond would be to point the joystick in that diagonal and q-bert would leap off. However, this isn't the case. Up, down, left and right are actually assigned to different diagonal sides of the cube, and unless you're very quick at adapting to such things, if you try and use the controller normally, you really will struggle. So I found myself turning the joystick at an angle so the directions I was pushing it in actually represented the direction he was going to jump. Now, whilst this isn't a massive deal, and it doesn't take a great amount of energy to tilt the joystick slightly to the left, my current generation gaming brain tells me the direction I push on the joystick should be the direction I move in. Now, maybe I'm being overly harsh and critical, and there's some kind of eccentricity when programming these games that meant such a thing wasn't possible, but it was an issue that affected me while playing, so I figure it's something that's worth mentioning. So overall, q-bert's a great and enjoyable game that anybody can pick up and play, regardless of their skill level, and it has a undefinable charm both in its gameplay and with the main character that has appealed to gamers since its release and still appeals today. And it's great to see a game, even this early in the evolution of gaming, that wasn't afraid to mix genres and create something new rather than just sticking to the same preset formats and conventions that have come before. So go hunt down one of the many versions available and give it a try for yourself. I'm sure you won't be disappointed. But that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll be doing some more viewer requests soon. If you've got one, feel free to drop me an email or a message or a comment below. Until then, take care.